I've been hearing a lot of things about Desmos on the SAT recently. Some people are all like, Desmos is dead, we're cooked, it's over. And then other people are like, Desmos is so OP, I literally got an 800 on the math section and I don't know any math. Well, honestly, I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. It is a really helpful tool if you know how to use it. So here are 5 practice problems to help you get familiar with Desmos on the SAT. So here's the first problem that we'll be doing. We need to find the value of x in the equation below. Well, this problem you might be able to do yourself just on paper. We just need to get x by itself on one side of the equation, and you can do things to both sides, like you can add 8, you can add 3x, and basically you're just trying to cancel everything out. But even if you already know how to do this, it might still be faster for you to use Desmos. So let's go ahead and open Desmos and see how we can solve this problem. So this is Desmos, and if you're not familiar with what it is, it's basically just a graphing calculator, but like online. So like, for example, I can basically just put in any equation like y equals 2x minus 1. And then it'll just graph it for us. But how are we supposed to use this to solve an equation? Isn't that like not graphing at all? Well, remember that the goal of solving for x is to get x by itself. We want to turn the equation into the simplest form possible, like x equals 4. Or x equals -2. But notice that when I graph x equals a number, it's always a vertical line. It's a vertical line that just goes on the number that x is equal to. So why don't we just plug our equation into Desmos, and theoretically, if it can be simplified into x equals a number, it'll just be a vertical line and it'll show us our answer. So our equation was 2x minus 8 equals -3x plus 7. And you'll see that we have a vertical line right at x equals 3. So that means that 3 is our answer. And if we want to just double check that, we can also just graph x equals 3. And see, look, it's the same line. So these two equations are the same as each other. Now here's the second problem that we'll be doing. Before we just had one equation with one letter, which was x. But now we have two equations with two letters, x and y, and we have to solve for both of those letters. Well, normally you would have to do this using substitution or elimination, and elimination looks kind of impossible here. So we would use substitution, but that would still take a long time. So let's go ahead and open Desmos and see if there's something that'll help us here. So each equation has two letters now. So let's go ahead and put in our first equation, which is 2x minus 4y equals 0. And you'll notice here that the answer isn't as obvious. It's not just a vertical line. And that's because we have two different letters. And usually when you graph a line, it has two different letters. It has an x and a y. Now, every point on this line is a possibility that you can plug into the equation. So for example, right here, we have, if I can get it on the right spot, there we go. Right here is right there is 2, 1. So that means if you plugged in 2 for x and 1 for y, then the equation would be true. It would equal 0. So you can try that yourself if you want. But right now we still have infinite possibilities for the answer. So let's go ahead and plug in our second equation. Our second equation was 5y equals 11 minus 3x. And you'll see that now this equation has its own possibilities. But you'll notice that right here at 2, 1, that's where the equations cross. And that is the only point where both of these equations are true, when x is 2 and y is 1. So this is actually the answer to our system of equations. X is equal to 2 and y is equal to 1. Let's go ahead and take a look at another problem. It says, how many solutions does this equation have? So this is only one equation, and looking at the variables, we have two x's. We don't have any y's, so it's just one letter, one equation. Well, on the right there, it looks like there's the distributive property, but no one wants to do that, so let's just open Desmos. Okay, let's plug in our equation, and remember, a vertical line is an answer. 6x minus 3 equals 3 times 2x plus 1. What? Well, it looks like plugging in the equation did absolutely nothing. And let's go ahead and zoom out just to make sure. Yep, I see nothing here. So do we have no solutions? Well, not so fast, because it could have no solutions. But if you don't see anything, then it could also have infinite solutions. So how do we find out if it's no solutions or infinite solutions? Well, there's one more thing we have to do. We need to split this equation up into two different equations. So first, I'm going to use the left side, which is 6x minus 3. And technically, we should also set this equal to y, but it kind of knows what we're doing already, so it put the line there anyway. And now let's go ahead and put in the other side of the equation, y equals 3 times 2x plus 1. And you'll notice that we get two different lines here because now we've graphed two lines. And they're like exactly parallel, and you'll notice they're never going to cross each other. So if you think of this like our system of equations, when two things are equal, they cross each other on the graph. So these two things that we just said were equal in the problem are never going to be equal. They're never going to cross each other, which means that this problem has no solutions. It has no answers. Or the question was asking how many solutions does it have, so the answer would be 0. It has none. Now let me show you the other alternative. Let's say that this problem was slightly different. Let's say this plus was actually just a minus. Well, now you'll notice that there's only one line here. Like, what happened to the other one? What happened to the black line? Well, the black line is still there. If we hide the red one, then you'll see that there's the black one. So these two lines are actually perfectly on top of each other. They're the same line, basically. And remember that an answer is where the two lines cross, but they are literally crossing everywhere, which means that if this was the problem and you get a line that's on top of the other line, then this actually has infinite solutions. So when you plug in an equation and nothing happens, make sure you know the difference between no solutions and infinite solutions. All right, enough about equations. We don't care about equations anymore. Let's do inequalities. It says which point is a solution to the inequality y is less than 2/3 x minus 4. And that's an important point there. It says a solution, not the solution, because inequalities have like infinite different answers. So let's just go ahead and solve this problem. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think we should do? Did I hear Desmos? Wow, that's right. Good job. So let's go ahead and plug in our inequality into Desmos. Y is less than 2/3 x, not c, minus 4. And you'll notice here that we have a line, but it's all shaded in blue underneath it. And that's because the equation, or the inequality in this case, says y is less than. So everything that's less than this line is going to be an answer. So everything in this blue area. So now our job is to just figure out which of those 4 answer choices falls in this blue area. So first we have the point 4, 1. And this is another one of those cases where Desmos isn't just going to be magic. You need to know how to find points on a graph. So 4, 1, 4 is x and 1 is y. So x is left and right. We start in the middle of the graph, and we have to go over to 4 on the x-axis, the horizontal line. And now that we're at x equals 4, we now need to go to y equals 1. Y is up and down. And going up 1 is going to be right here because 2 is up here. And I think we can clearly see that this point right here is not in the blue area. So that's not an answer. A is not the answer. What about B? B is 3, negative 4. So 3 for x, negative 4 for y. X is left and right, so 3 for x means going 3 to the right. And that's just going to be right in between 2 and 4 right here. And now y is negative 4, which means that we need to go downward. Negative means down. And negative 4 is all the way down here. As you can see right here, it lines up with negative 4. And this falls in the blue area, which means that B is the answer to our problem. Now, here's the important thing. Let's say your problem had 2 inequalities. Well, you can put both of them into Desmos at the same time. So if you also had x is greater than 3, then you have 2 inequalities here. And this area here, this murky greenish blue area, is where both of them cross, and these are all going to be answers to the system of inequalities. All right, here's another problem, and this one I see a lot of students getting scared over, and we can use Desmos for this one, but it's going to be a little bit tougher. It says that the table shows points in the equation y equals 3x squared plus bx plus c, where b and c are constants. What is the value of b, c? So whenever you see a number in front of x squared plus a number in front of x plus a number by itself, that is a quadratic equation, and those are really important, so make sure you understand how those work. But they only give us one of the numbers. They give us 3 in front of x squared, but they don't tell us what the number is in front of x and what the number is by itself. That's what b and c mean. They're not like extra variables or anything. It just says they're constants, which is just a fancy way of saying it's a number. It's like 3 or 7. And we have to find the value of bc, which is b times c. So basically, we just have to figure out what B and C are. Now for this problem, I think we're going to use something called Desmos. Now to start off this problem, we first need to give Desmos the table that we had in the problem. So how do you add a table to Desmos? Well, you just type the word table. Wow, it's magic. And now we just need to add in our points. So I'm going to add in 0, 7, and then 1, 4, and then 2, 7. And you'll see that after we put in our numbers in the table, Desmos graphs them on the graph. And our quadratic equation is probably going to be a parabola, which is like a U-shaped graph. So it hasn't graphed the U shape yet because it doesn't know what it's going to look like. But let's now go ahead and put in our equation. So I'm going to move the equation up here just so you can see. Our equation is going to be y equals 3x squared. And the little hat looking symbol on the top of your keyboard, it's on 6. That's how you put a squared or any exponent. And that's going to be plus bx plus c. And you'll notice that absolutely nothing happens. That's because Desmos is yelling at us because there's too many letters and it doesn't know what to do with them. But we have to still tell Desmos that we want it to connect to the table here and figure out what B and C are. Now you'll notice that on the table we have x1 and y1 instead of just x and y. So we need to do the same thing on our equation. Let's just add a 1 next to x and y, and it'll automatically make them the tiny ones, so you don't have to worry about that. And ta-da, still nothing happens. That's because we have to do one more thing. For it to connect to the table, instead of an equal sign, we need to put a tilde, or whatever it's called. It's the squiggly line that's like in the top left of your keyboard. And ta-da, it tells us what B and C are. No comments about the numbers. I see you typing. And you'll see that it even graphs the parabola for us. Here is our little U-shaped graph. It just knows where to put it. And a little fun fact, this 3 here, it didn't even need to know the 3. If we just turn this into another unknown letter, it is able to figure out that it's supposed to be 3. Now to just solve the problem, it wanted to know the value of B, C. And whenever you have two letters next to each other in algebra, that's multiplication. So we have to do negative 6 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42, and 1 minus sign, so the minus sign stays. So the answer to our problem is negative 42. So now you know most of the important types of problems that you can use Desmos to solve really quickly on the SAT. But there's something really important you need to know, and I can't stress this enough. Desmos is not going to be a substitute for knowing math. But don't worry, the best way to get better at math is to just keep doing practice problems. So if you're ready to continue your practice for the SAT, then this is the video you'll want to watch next. And if you have any questions about anything I went over in this video, go ahead and leave a comment and I'll be sure to answer your question. Good luck on the SAT.